everyone, welcome back. How amazing was that body stone? I can't wait to get mine. For those of you just tuning in, I am Tiffany Dominguez from Tawdry. I am your host today for Shop Mom Saturday. Shop Mom is all about supporting those mother-owned businesses and all gearing up and leading up to Mother's Day. So in case you missed that last live segment, you don't have to wait to shop. There's a Shop Mom directory right here, right below on the momeconomy.com, where you can check out a full list of all the mother brands. Now, the amazing thing about shopping today is a percentage of proceeds will go back to the mom economy, which is all about giving back and helping moms. So not only will you be giving to the mom economy, you are also supporting families, you are supporting mother-owned businesses like myself, like Kate McLeod, like Alana, and many more to come. So next up, you're going to want to grab your notebook and your pens for this one, because now comes the workshop section for today. And we are going to have DawnChere Wilkerson come and give us some notes on how to be a leader and sharing some really great words of wisdom. You're going to want to write stuff down. So go ahead and stay here on our main stage on the momeconomy.com. If you are tuning in through YouTube or Facebook, that's awesome. Please be sure to chat because we're all tuning in, and let's give a warm welcome to DawnChere.
Thank you, Tiffany. My name is DawnChere Wilkerson, and I am so excited to be a part of Shop Mom Saturday. I think that already it's been a full day and there's so much more to come. And I'm just going to take the next few minutes to share with you some leadership thoughts. If you're a mom, you are a leader. And this entire day is about resourcing you and about us uniting for a greater cause. And I'm so grateful for Shop Mom Saturday, and I'm grateful for the life and the encouragement that the mom economy is committed to speaking over women really around the world. My name, as I said, is DawnChere, but my husband's name is Rich, and together we lead a community called Vous right here in Miami, Florida. And leading an organization while being a mom, while going through this entire COVID crisis has been quite the challenge. But in the middle of the challenge, I think that this is not a wasted season. I think that this is an opportunity for us to grow and for us to walk out of this crisis with more assurance than ever of how we're supposed to walk in our families and how we're supposed to lead our organizations. I'm grateful to know so many women who are entrepreneurs just like we are, and who also are committed to being the best moms that they can be. You know, my story is that I, for 8 years with my husband, prayed that we would be able to have a child. I've been married to my husband for 13 years, been with him for 18 years, and we started trying to have a family when I was 25 years old, and was told very quickly through different tests that we were going to have a struggle. And so that started a journey of infertility, of waiting. And that waiting season isn't a wasted season either. And I know that right now with COVID, that being sheltered in and having all these stipulations and regulations as far as what we can do in our organizations and with our home and our personal lives can feel like we're just waiting for it to all be over. But what I learned in the 8 years of infertility is that even when you feel constricted, it can actually be an expansive time for your soul and for your perspective. So I just want to challenge your perspective for the next few minutes as a mom and as a leader. You see, I think that in the middle of this crisis, that all of us are called to navigate this uncertainty with the strength that comes not from what's going on around us, because there's a lot of chaos around us, but a strength and a resolve that comes from inward, from our soul. And all of us are called to look at this season with fresh eyes. A leader is able to see things that other people can't see. And a leader is able to show other people how to look at their situation, not with eyes that are full of fear, but with eyes that can look at the situation with strategy and with strength. We need fresh eyes. I'll tell you what, being in my neighborhood more than ever as we've been home for the last month, I've started to see my neighborhood in a new light. You're probably with me. Like, I start to notice the other homes. I start to look around and see things that I've lived here for years. But I'm seeing it with fresh eyes because my situation has been shifted. And I was walking the other day and a neighbor was out in their front yard and they were picking like these little berries off of their front hedges. And I was like, what are you picking? I'd never talked to this person in my life. What are you picking? And she said, oh, these are star cherries. And she said they're high in antioxidants and they're really healthy, lots of vitamin C, they're amazing. You can try one. So I picked one off of her hedge and I ate it, and I was just thinking to myself, you know how you do, like, man, it would be so cool if one day I could have fruit in my own yard. And then yesterday I was outside in the yard with my son. And we were walking around the yard and we went to the back of the yard and I noticed these little berries on the ground, like kind of smashed up. They'd been heated in the sun on the floor. And I started to look closer in the bushes that were above them and I discovered the same star cherries in my yard. The yard that I've been walking in for years now. The yard that I'm in all the time. And it took this crisis for me to notice a harvest that had been there all along. You see, crisis like this can cause us to take a closer look at our surroundings and to be aware of what we have that maybe we never even noticed was there in the first place. And I want to encourage you, moms, and I want to encourage you, leaders. There's more resources than you realize. It's time for us to look at our organizations, to look in our homes, to look in our relationships with fresh eyes. And to go, what have I missed? What has literally been around me? A harvest available to me always, but I just didn't pick up on it. It's been rotting on the ground because I didn't even know what to look for. And that's what's beautiful about relationship, is when you get the right people around you. That's what Shop Mom Saturday is about. That's what the mom economy is about, is getting women around you who speak life over you, who open up your eyes to a brand new perspective. Can I ask you, moms? Can I ask you, leaders, like, who are the people in your life? I want to reach up in my relationships. I want to have women that don't just pat me on the back and say, oh, you're going to get through this. I want women and moms who are going to go, you're not just going to get through this. You're going to thrive in the midst of this crisis. There's going to be something forged in you that you're going to carry way beyond this season. You're going to gain a new outlook, a new strength, a new resolve that's going to strengthen your journey for the rest of your life. Your kids are going to be better for it. Your marriage is going to be better for it. Your organization is going to be better for it. You have a resilience if we will awaken to it. And that's why community is so important. I have a couple thoughts for you when it comes to looking at this season with fresh eyes. In our community, Vous, it's a church. We meet right here in Miami every single week, and now we've had to completely pivot. And all of our services are online now, and people are serving online, and we're showing up at the hospitals and serving tens of thousands of meals now in the middle of this crisis. We have to learn to pivot and see the opportunity around us. How can we help? And that's what Shop Mom Saturday is all about. But for you to see with fresh eyes, you've got to be able to reframe. What we say in our community, Vous, a lot is it matters the story that you tell yourself. Because the story you tell yourself will be the life that you live. What happens? How does it happen when, there's 7 kids in my family and all of us view our childhood differently? How can one person grow up under the same roof and see life this way, and the other person grow up and see their childhood a completely different way? Well, it's the story that you tell yourself. And right now in the middle of this crisis, Mom, there's a story that you're telling yourself. You are the narrator of your life story, and a leader knows that it's important, the story that they tell themselves, that we are not in a place of weakness. We're in a place of opportunity and strength if we can see it in the middle of this struggle. What is the story that you are telling yourself? Because the story you tell yourself will be the life that you live. All of us are telling a story in our heads. We are the narrator of our life journey. And the story you tell yourself is impacting your emotions, it's impacting your outlook, and a leader knows that there's power in the story you tell yourself. Let me give you some examples. Like, you're in your house like me today. You've got your organization that you're leading. You've got your kids that you want to love and nurture and care for and homeschool. Oh my goodness. You've got a home that you've got to clean. You've got meals that you've got to prepare. You've got a marriage that you want to steward and protect and keep passion. How do you do all of these things? So you look at your kids and you go, I don't have what it takes. Like, I'm overwhelmed. I can't be the homeschooler. I can't be the one to take care of the house. This is all piling up. Laundry is all around me. Well, you got to reframe that story. You've got to tell yourself the right story. You got to say, you know what? I'm not overwhelmed. I'm the right mom for this job. God gave me these kids. There's no mistake that they're mine and that they have me to call mom. The laundry can wait a day. The dishes can stay dirty another hour. We're going to get through this together. I'm going to breathe deeply. I'm going to remember who I am and remember that this situation I'm in is not permanent. And at that moment, you reframe. How else do you reframe? My organization, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to pivot. I don't know. We can look at our situation. It seems impossible. I can't meet payroll. I don't know how to keep our team united while we're all in our homes and not working together any longer. You need to reframe the story that you're telling yourself. This is not the end of your organization. This could be a brand new chapter that takes your organization further than ever. We need to get the right mentors speaking into our lives. We need to unite and have synergy within our teams. We need to utilize technology just like we are today with Shop Mom Saturday. The same can be done for your organization. We just have to reframe the story that we're telling ourselves. But we don't just reframe. In order for us to have fresh eyes, we've also got to release our old plans. Because so often we can be control freaks. Come on, moms, you know what I'm talking about. I want to control things. Like, I've got a plan. I've got my lists. I've got my calendar. I've got my schedule. But you know what? That's all been turned on its head through this COVID crisis. You've got to release how things used to be. So often we can clinch to what was, and we're not able to receive the new plan and the new strength that is there for the taking. If you'll just release your old plans. You've got to reframe, retell a story, but you've also got to release. How often do we hold on to the little thing and reject the big thing? There's something bigger taking place right now. And I want to speak life over you right now. If you'll stop obsessing over what has been lost and you'll start looking around, there is more around you than you see. There are opportunities for collaboration, for creativity, for resources. There is providence that you would never see if you just keep your eyes on how things used to be. You've got to release those old plans. A leader is able to do that. A leader is able to pivot. But you don't just release and you don't just reframe. It's so important as women that we're able to reflect and renew. And this is where we often miss it because we're trying to be everything to everyone. We're trying to take care of the organization. We're trying to take care of our children. We're trying to take care of our spouse. We're trying to make sure our friends are okay. And while we're taking care of everyone else, we actually deplete ourselves because we aren't taking the time to reflect and renew. But a leader knows that your reflection and your renewal is pivotal to you going the distance. And you were created to last. You were built to last. But the way that you go the distance is by taking the time to reflect and renew. How do you do that? Well, you need to be drinking your water. You need to be taking your vitamins. You need to be turning off the TV late at night and getting rest. You say, DawnChere, that's so basic. You know what? It's often the basic things that we throw out the window, that we don't pay attention to, that actually take the energy and the life out of us when we need it the most. Maybe you'd be journaling in this time. Maybe you would start to get counseling in this time. Maybe you would start to process with a trusted friend as you reflect on what you are going through, as you get those thoughts out of your head and on the table so you can see them for what they really are. Don't wait till we're on the other side of this crisis to get the help that your marriage needs so that your house can be full of peace and strength. Don't wait until we're on the other side of this crisis to start to get personal counseling that you need as you're trying to navigate this crazy storm that is COVID-19. We need each other. Maybe you would take the time to journal. Maybe you take the time to get serious about your intake of food, of getting outside and getting fresh air. We need that renewal and that reflection. One of my favorite scriptures says this. It's in Psalms, and it says that the righteous will flourish like a palm tree. And that picture is always so beautiful for me because my faith is really the foundation of my life. And my faith brings strength to me and perspective in every single season. I don't know what I'd do without my faith. And so when I look at that scripture and it says that the righteous will flourish like a palm tree, well, I can tell you all about palm trees because I live in Miami. Storms roll through this city and wind comes through and it can completely destroy buildings. But the palm tree just stays standing. It actually isn't ever detached from the roots and its soil that it's planted in. It just simply bends. You know, it's a beautiful promise for me that in the middle of a storm, that I was built to bend and not break. But in order for me not to break, I have to be flexible. I have to remain flexible. Stop trying to control everything. You can't. In fact, you never were in control to begin with. Stop telling yourself a story of defeat. Instead, let's remain flexible. Let's choose to reframe this situation. Let's tell ourselves a story of being flexible and of stretching and of finding solutions that were there all along. Let's actually tell ourselves a story that we are releasing the control. And then let's also renew and reflect. That's called being flexible. And just like the palm tree, you may be in a storm, but you're going to bend and not break. I'm inspired by the women around me, leading their organizations, working hard while stewarding their families. You're doing it right now. You don't even see yourself in that light, but can I tell you, I see you, and you're bending, you're not breaking. You're resilient, you're brave, you're strong, you're wise, and we're better together. We can get through this if we stand united. And I want to take the next few minutes just to encourage you as we talk about looking at our organization with fresh eyes, as we talk about reframing our situation, releasing the control, releasing the small for something that is so much larger, and choosing to reflect and renew. As we look at these thoughts, I want to have a conversation with some women that I love and respect, who are doing both the mom thing and the job thing really well because they're walking authentically, not acting like everything's perfect, but just being genuine in the journey that they are on. And someone that I really want to talk to today, and I think that they're going to encourage you, is my friend Polly. And Polly actually leads an organization called Horacio Printing. And we met years ago. And actually, I'm not going to spoil it for you because she's a mom and she's an entrepreneur. She's a creative and she has a joy that is contagious. And we're just going to talk about her journey of motherhood and leading her organization. So will you put your hands together for none other than Miss Polly Payne. Polly, are you there?
I'm here.
Hey!
Hey!
How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. How's everything going in your neck of the woods?
Everything's fine in terms of, business is going pretty good, and we are all working from home, and that's working out just fine. My baby's healthy. I'm just trying to look on the bright side and count my blessings during all this.
Come on, same. I think that for you and I, for everyone actually, this is an unprecedented season. This is a season where we don't know what's to come, and we are literally getting updates every day in our cities and in our nation as to how we're supposed to navigate the storm. And I look back on past seasons. You and I go way back. And we've been through a lot of seasons, both as moms and with you starting your organization. When you started Horacio Printing years ago, a friend told me about your organization, and you reached out, and that formed a friendship. And I'm always inspired by you and Horacio Printing. And I remember working on projects with you and just how much intention you put into serving the different customers that you work with, how you honor them, and how you seek to collaborate in really beautiful, special ways. And I would love to talk just a little bit about your organization. Can you just, before we dive into some leadership thoughts, because I know you have so much gold and I want to pull it out, but before we get there, can you just share with everyone who's watching on Shop Mom Saturday, can you share with them a little bit about you, both personally and about Horacio?
Yeah, so I'm Polly. My child is 1 year old, and I just want to encourage moms, like, we are so much stronger than we think we are. So basically, I started Horacio Printing about 5 years ago when I was living in New York City. I was actually um, working in online ad sales at the time at an advertising technology company. I'm originally from Alabama, so I'm a Southern girl at heart, and we now live in Florida. But yeah, I started Horacio Printing with a mission to really help people unleash their inner artist and connect with their God-given purpose. I believe that your life is your canvas, and we truly have the opportunity to paint and design and create a life that we love. And it's not always about just trying to get like the next thing, but even just creating a life of simplicity, a life of reflection and renewal. And so one of our big values as a company is to provide encouragement and the message of grace. And in terms of what we do, we make dream planners, we make stationery, journals, Bible studies, notepads, pens, that kind of stuff. And really our love language is thick paper and minimalist design.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love your design, and I love like what you said about the artistry and God-given purpose. Like you sense that in your organization, and I love the paper that you use. I love the design that you use. Everything about it is really inspiring. And what I notice about your organization is that you put so much intention into it. It's not just trying to come up with some like clever idea. Like Polly has these beautiful planners that I get every single year for the people in my life. You need to check them out. They're amazing. But they're more than just a planner. Like they cause you to think deeply about your purpose and about what you see in the coming year. And I think that's what moms need. Like we need some inspiration in our everyday as we're cleaning and leading and waking up at the crack of dawn, putting together lunch boxes while also like putting together presentations at work. Like we need that. And so I think that your goal for this organization, you're walking it out in such a beautiful way. Tell me a little bit about just how many people do you lead? Like who's a part of your organization?
So it changes. We're a seasonal company. Obviously when it's planner time at the beginning of the year, it's a crazy season. Like we fluctuate a lot. And so
Yeah.
we go with seasonal help. I have some contracted designers on staff. I have
Wow.
contracted help with photography and social media, as well as fulfillment. But it fluctuates. And we have a core group of people that have been there from the beginning. But it changes, and it could be anywhere from like 3 to 6 at a
Yeah.
time. But for the most part, it's mostly seasonal contract. Um, but we all stay in touch and like just really focus around our core why, which
Yeah.
is to really encourage people, which I think right now that's the time we really carry that with a badge of honor. Like I don't ever want to minimize what people are going through and the suffering, but I want to be a light and a voice to those that need that encouragement right now and just need some perspective shift and really helping people with their spiritual growth and mental health. Like you were saying, journaling is so crucial to just kind of have the windshield wipers of the soul just kind of,
I love that
clean that
picture.
out in the morning. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
that's been something that we've been encouraging people to do as well.
And tell me just a little bit about your mom journey, because you're a mom
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, so I have a little daughter named Jane. She just turned 1 back in March at the very beginning of this whole thing. We had a whole birthday
Amazing.
party, and then right after that, it was like, okay, nobody can come over.
Yeah.
So luckily that happened before, but I was really blessed. Like it was the first month that we really tried. We had a baby bucket list ahead of time, did some traveling, and then God was just so merciful in allowing us to get pregnant. And we had moved out of New York, which I'm now counting my blessings for that. And so we are settled here in Orlando, in Central Florida, and just
Amazing.
it's been awesome. It was for me, what hit me like a ton of bricks was the first trimester. I was extremely sick and running my business, and I've always been in a season of hurry and output. Like, okay, we got to hurry up. We got to do the emails and the new products and the new products and the new products and the promotion and the email and the content and the value. And like I've always just been in a season of hurry, and that really just hit me like motherhood does, like
Yes.
a brick wall. And it was like, you've got to learn systems. You've got to learn to slow down. And this whole time has been a switch for me in terms of going from this season of hurry and output to slowing down
Yeah.
and focusing on input and being picky about what I input into my mind.
I love it.
I should be more picky about what I'm inputting into my body in terms of food, because I've been snacking like crazy.
We all
But
have.
yeah, but it's important to think about what is going in your mind. And for me, during this season, I really had to cut back and remove social media. So I took a break for 30 days and I went completely silent on Horatio,
Yeah.
which people that do marketing for a living would say that's crazy. Don't mess up your algorithm or whatever. And like, I do want to produce content and I did want to provide value during this crazy season, but I decided, no, I'm just going to get off social media. I'm going to trust God and I'm going to
Yeah.
focus on taking care of myself, pouring into me as the leader, creating valuable content and doing a lot of reflection and renewal. And so we just hopped back online yesterday, and it was just a good time to slow down and embrace the season. I think that's been one of the biggest things. It's just embracing the season of motherhood and work, and something had to give, something had to bend. And for me, it was I need more time. Social media has to go,
And
and
sometimes you
so.
just got to go with your gut. I think that moms have the best like gut and discernment. Like sometimes we just know what we need. And oftentimes I think that for us to forge our own path, like it doesn't sound like what everybody else is doing. And so where people would tell you you're crazy to drop off with social media, you knew that, okay, those 30 days can actually accelerate our social media if I receive the inspiration and the strength that I need from getting like a fresh perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Social media oftentimes can just numb us to just getting used to everything. And it's like, if we cut that out, for me, it's made a big difference. I was thinking about like Ed Sheeran. I know that he cut social media out for a year, I think, when he wrote his
Whoa.
last album. And he just like completely wanted to be able to look at life with fresh eyes and to be able to reflect and be renewed and reframe kind of the way that he looked at his life. And I just think that's beautiful because it's not a popular path, but I think that it can actually accelerate your journey if it's used properly.
For sure. And
I
even on a personal perspective, I was doing social media way too much. I've got to be on here for work, but then that just was just a big spiral, and it was just wasting my time. And if I'm at home without childcare, trying to run a business with my child and wanting to do all the things, or at least attempt the most important things, something had to give, and like that was it
Yeah.
for sure.
And how have you found the dance between momhood and leading an organization? Because to me, I see so many parallels. Like in my life, leading an organization and leading team and staff, as soon as you feel like you have your handle on it, it changes. And then having a kid, same thing. As soon as I feel like, oh, I've like mastered this season, I enter into a brand new season and it's completely different. And I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Like, how has it been being a mom and leading this organization?
Yeah, I feel like it's a constant plot twist and pivot, for sure. Like she, just started walking, so that it was like a whole new world in the house.
Yes.
And then, not having our childcare come into the house as much, it's like it's just been a little bit different. But I think for me, what helps me get through anything like this is scheduling, and just so I have that space to breathe and to
That's
focus on
great.
whatever I need. Me and my husband, we might sound crazy to people, but we literally have these drills. It sounds like a football drill. We have the 2-4-4-2 or a 2-3-3-2,
I
and
love it.
it's like you get 2 hours, I get 3 hours, you get 2 hours, I get 3 hours.
This is such a good hack. This
Or
is
like
amazing.
and then we both are able to, that means we both have really special time with Jane that's just ours. And then we have time while we're watching Jane while she's napping, so we get an extra bit of work in. But when you're on, you're on. Like when I'm on and it's my time to keep Jane, I'm on. My phone's not around unless I'm taking a cute video of her. We're blowing up the pool outside, we're going on a walk around the neighborhood, like we're doing something together, we're eating, whatever. And when I'm off, I'm able to really just be mom, shut the door, and get my work done, and take breaks if I want to, and jump back in. So that's really been working for us.
And you do it in blocks. That's going to
In
help a lot
blocks.
of people.
Yeah, so 2-4-4-2, and that'll get you through, what?
That's a whole day.
Yeah,
That's
that's
from
the whole day.
7:30 in the morning to 7:30 at night. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that works for us, and like I have to give props to my husband, who's like willing to go 50% as a partner with me, and really just crush it as a dad. So that's really been a big blessing.
I love that. How have you personally approached COVID? I know you said that you have taken time away from social. I know that you're trying to find ways to pivot, but how have you reframed this whole situation with your organization?
Yeah, so we're still shipping, thank God. So that's working out fine.
Thank
But
God.
what we decided to do was I sat down with the question of like, how can I add more value? How can I add more value? Which I think is a crucial question when you're thinking about pivoting. And for us, we decided to bring back the seasonal subscription box that Horatio Printing did back in 2018, but to do it in a fresh new way. And what I'm most excited about is each box will come with a new volume of soap, Seasons of Soap, and we're going to do it as a community in this app platform and do a virtual small group together. So we're going to meet
Oh,
up, have a little 20-minute session, which is so doable as a 20-minute bite-sized soap together. We do like a scripture meditation first. I'll read it out loud, and then we write down our answers, and then we just share it together. And so I've built this little app platform where you have all the invites to all the meetings as well as dream coaching. And then each month you have different resources like a scripture meditation, a message, curated podcasts that are great, curated playlists for
so
worship.
much.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. And it's not going to be on a Facebook group or on social media, which is nice because there won't be like an algorithm or ads or people's vacation pictures. So that's how we're pivoting in this season. And I'm really, really excited. And I would have never been able to birth this without the time to just be home and to be quiet and to be off social media and just build this content and create it. So I'm really excited.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I think there's so much innovation happening right now.
Mhm.
People's faces have changed, like everything is changing, and you leaned into it. You didn't try to hit back at it or like act like
Mhm.
it wasn't happening. You actually leaned into, I just got to embrace this new normal, and it
Yes.
brought about a completely different phase for your company. That makes me excited. Like, how do you get in your creative zone? Because obviously as moms you have a lot of things on your mind. Like, i
Yeah.
can i can just get spacey. Sometimes my list
Mhm.
can overwhelm me. Where do
Mhm.
you find your zone to be creative?
Two places. I find a lot of creativity when I walk. Sometimes it's listening to a podcast or a really great audiobook. Recently, I was listening to The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry
Oh,
and
I
how to
love
remove
that
hurry.
book.
It's so good. And just embracing your Sabbath and just reframing everything. And that really gave me the juice I needed to stay strong in my commitment to the fast. And the other one is in the mornings, I like to do my Bible study. And then right after that, that's really when I have that connection and that moment of reflection. I go right into the creative space. And then I save the tactical email work for later in the day. That helps me. Another big thing that is helpful with productivity, which I know right now, it's like there's so many things at home. Like it's hard to be productive on your work because there's the laundry staring at you and dinner. So what I found really helpful is the Pomodoro Method, where you take a timer and you set it for 25 minutes, and you have one task that you focus on. And from there, you don't do anything else during that 25 minutes, and you take a 5-minute break after. And you can do as many sessions as you want, but after 3 in a row, you take a 20-minute break and get up and walk. But that was life-changing for me once I started doing it. So
I love
yeah,
that. I've
that's
never
been
done
really
that before.
helpful.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I've been using that for a while, and it helped me get things done that I've been putting off for months.
Wow. Well, I know that there are some things that you're going to share with the viewers for Shop Mom Saturday in just a moment.
Yeah.
But before we go, I just had one last question. People that are looking for their purpose, what would you say to them today?
Yeah, so I think we can really feel anxious when we feel like where we're losing our purpose. And like, I know a lot of people are at home, and we tie some of our identity to what we're able to output and what we're able to do in terms of our work and our vocation.
Yeah.
And so I think in this time, as we seek purpose and embrace this season, um, you have to think about how you can truly make impact right now. And I think one of the easiest ways that we can make quick, amazing impact is through encouragement. And that's one of our values at Horatio Printing. And we like to create
Yes.
products that help you encourage other people. And so I've actually created an encouragement bundle, bundling up some of our best sellers, including like our encouragement notepad and our encouraging journal. And so I would love to take you guys into the live
Please.
shop now. Yes. So just click the live shopping room button, and I
Okay.
will take you guys into that. And it was so good talking to you, DawnChere.
I love talking with you. I loved it. Let's shop. Let's go.
All right, let's go.